I am Graham Barfield. I am a co-owner here at the site, and yeah, exciting day, exciting video for you. We are going to be breaking down, going through, and running through some drafts on the brand new Fantasy Points Generator, the FPG. So yeah, let's just dive right into it. First things first. What you want to do is go from the home page, go to Downloads and Tools, hit that Generator button. Super simple. Wait for the page to load, hit Launch FPG. It'll take you to a login screen. I'm already logged in here, obviously. So it'll take you to your login screen, and from there, it's just your normal login information that you would use on the site. But here, I'm already logged in, so we'll get started here. As you can tell, I've already been playing around with this generator quite a bit. I've got a new article coming up on the site here shortly. It's a Superflex guide, and this has kind of been on my test teams. But yeah, let's get going here. First things first, once you get signed in, just hit this Create a League button. And from here, you got a lot of different options at your disposal. So the first draft I think we should do is a Superflex. Let's call from the 3 spot. We'll pick our draft position again. Let's go for the 3 spot. That's usually Patrick Mahomes' range. We'll make this fun. We'll do 16 rounds here. Get a couple bench spots. That'd be like 7 bench spots. Okay, so Superflex leagues, what you want to do is you want to click, obviously, boost up your quarterbacks to number 2. And you can come in and obviously adjust for whatever league settings you guys have in y'all's leagues. Today, I hate defenses and kickers. I've been trying to replace defense and kickers with flex spots in all of my leagues. So yeah, let's not even mess around with that today. But obviously, if your league still uses a defense kicker, what have you, you can use that here. All right, so we'll do 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a start, a tight end, and let's add another flex spot here for running back, wide receiver, and tight end. Okay, so we got this set up. We're picking third, Superflex draft, 2 quarterbacks. Got our starting spots figured out. Here, you can come down to the scoring system. We have a bunch of preloaded scoring systems in the generator. So obviously, you have your PPR, standard, and half PPR. That's pretty much your, most standard ones. We've got tight end premium, so 1.5 PPR points to tight end. We've got ESPN rules, Yahoo rules, NFL, CBS, DraftKings, and FanDuel. So pretty much everything that you could possibly want. The NFFC, our guys over at the NFFC that run best ball 10s, on the flip side, they run NFFC championships. So that's actually going to be 6 point per passing touchdown leagues. And then you have a custom format here where you can come in and basically just fill out anything you possibly could want. I mean, if you got a super weird scoring system where, let's say you get to, long touchdown bonuses, Patrick Mahomes scores throws a bunch of those 40+ yarders. Yeah, you can come in here and set that up. We have that projected, so therefore you can set it up for yourself. If you have a weird league where it's like a quarter point per reception, I've seen a few of those. You can come in there and do that. And again, you can set up if your league, let's say your Superflex league uses 6 points per passing touchdown instead of 4. All you got to do, come down to the custom scoring, pop that in. Everything else will be standard. You have to fill out the whole form, but yeah, that's the way you can do it. But we're not going to be using custom scoring. We'll just come up here, do normal PPR. Normal PPR, you obviously have your 4 points per passing touchdown. So let's get into it. All right, to get going, save the league, and it'll take you immediately into the screen. All right, so from here, we've got our draft report right here. Obviously, the draft hasn't started yet. That will be filled out here shortly. And you can go to the All Teams tab to kind of toggle through the draft as it takes place. So yeah, let's get into it here. We're picking third, so we're gonna fire it up, mock to our next pick, and as you might expect, the first 2 picks, McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook. I actually kind of think Patrick Mahomes should go number 2. He's definitely in that conversation, so we're happy. We're gonna take him here number 3. All you gotta do is press pick. He's gonna be preloaded into your drafted players. And then, from here, you can kind of just click through and mock to your next pick. So we're going to be on the clock again in the back half of the second round. Okay, so what's really cool about this generator is it kind of, if you're not entirely sure, and this is a great example because Superflex leagues, there's so much more strategy involved. In your typical like one quarterback leagues, everybody's just kind of following ADP in the first couple of rounds, but you obviously get the extra quarterback in there. Everybody's racing to fill out that super flex spot to try to get an advantage over each other. So what's really cool about this generator is that we have this advanced analytics tab, and this is going to show you just how, I guess the opportunity cost is probably the best way to put it. The opportunity cost of waiting on certain positions if you don't take them now. So right here, we're on the clock again at 22 overall, back half of the second round. We got Patrick Mahomes fired up. The best 3 picks in this round by position are laid out here. And it says, hey, if you take Russell Wilson now, this is, obviously your projected points. But if you wait 2 rounds or 3 rounds, these are the guys or the range of guys that you could expect to pick. Same thing goes for running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. And it kind of gives you a good idea of just how big the gap is between one player to the next. So, for example, here, we can kind of see that, receivers are this whole receiver pool really, after you get past like, Adams and Hill and Diggs, it gets pretty close. I mean, Ridley, Metcalf, and Jefferson all have top 5 upside. And then, even if you wait 2 rounds and you get CeeDee Lamb, you can make a case that he has top 5 upside. So you kind of see that here, right, where you get much tighter points lost than some position like running back. If you take Antonio Gibson here and wait a couple rounds, it's a massive drop-off between Gibson, DeSanders, and Henderson. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come back and say, okay, I don't really feel comfortable with the way running back looks. I'm going to come in and I'm going to take Antonio Gibson as my RB1. And then simply mock to your next pick once again, and you kind of get a feel for, okay, let's see how this played out. I took Gibson, and the next couple picks after were all receivers. Waller, 2 receivers, Waller, and a back. So no quarterbacks went off the board. We got kind of lucky here. We're going to come back. We'll take another quarterback. Let's take Aaron Rodgers. I like that pairing. And once again, we'll mock to our next pick. Okay, so kind of get the gist of it, right? We're back here on the clock at 46 overall. Let's do the same thing. We got our 2 quarterbacks. We got a running back. Let's come in and see what the wide receiver pool looks like. All right, so we're going to click Select Positions. And we'll come in here, and it'll highlight, what's really cool, too, it'll highlight, the top player on the board here as well. But it'll show you, the second and third ranked receiver, on the board as well. So once again, all right, pretty big drop-off, as you can tell, if you take CeeDee Lamb and wait 2 more rounds to take, Deebo Samuel type. So we'll come back in, and we will take Lamb. All right, so we got our top 2 quarterbacks. We got Antonio Gibson and CeeDee Lamb. That's pretty much like a dream start right there. And yeah, we could go through this whole thing here, but right here we'll go ahead and simulate it to the end. We made our first 4 picks. We got our baseline in. Let's see what the rest of our team looks like and what the optimizer spits out. So pretty interesting here. One of the things I've noticed just playing around with this optimizer so much is it's very intelligent, and it knows that even if you take Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, or Patrick Mahomes and let's say Matthew Stafford in the 4th round, whatever the case may be, whatever strategy you employ, it still knows, hey, I still need a 3rd quarterback. I need somebody to fill in for my buys. I need somebody to fill in for injuries, and it does a really good job of capturing that. It's usually going to give you somebody like Sam Darnold or Derek Carr in the back end late rounds, rounds 8, 9, and 10. But yeah, super, super sharp from that perspective. Again, remember we started with Gibson and Lamb. It came back and said, okay, I know we've got to start 3 wide receivers in this league. Let's give the mid-round wide receivers a little bit more of a bump than the running backs. And it did that here. You can see Robert Woods is our 2, Samuel is our 3, and then we've got some interesting late-round guys between Elijah Moore and Traquan Smith to kind of fill out the rest of our roster. And it came back and, took running backs. Pretty damn good team. Let's see how we stack up. If you want to see how you stack up, again, you can toggle back over here, go to the All Teams section, obviously scroll through if you're in the back half of the first round. And right here, we are the number 1 projected team. Pretty badass. Yeah, definitely liking this team from an overall perspective. Henderson, Carter, great RB2, 3 to options. So yeah, really solid team, and I think we got pretty lucky with Rodgers in the third round there. But yeah, loving that team. All right, so let's come back and let's say, okay, we got another draft. We'll come back out, create a new league that we want to prepare for. Let's do a 10-team league this time. And we will go from the 8 spot. Kind of give a little bit of a differentiation here. All right. Oops. Not 8 teams. All right. All right, one more time. 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 1 tight end. No defense. That feels so good to click out. And no kicker. All right. No defense, no kicker. We'll add an extra flex spot. Same thing. PPR scoring. 4 points per passing touchdown. All right. 8 spot. 10 teams. Let's do it. Again, it'll load up pretty quickly. Fires up quick. Again, we're just going to mock to our first pick here in the 8th round. Go through the draft report. Let's see who's taken first before us. So pretty standard. Most Superflex leagues, this is kind of how it's going to look. You're going to have, at least 3 quarterbacks, 3 running backs in the top 6, 7 picks. You might see a wide receiver or Kelsey sneak in there, but that's pretty typical. What's cool about this tool is it's not only trained on our projections, it's also trained on ADP. So the algorithm, is balancing both of those 2 things at the same time. And then like we saw with the Patrick Mahomes team we just drafted from the 3-hole, because it's trained on ADP and because it's trained on projections, it, kind of intuitively knows, hey, I've drafted only 1 running back through the first 7 or 8 rounds. It's time to start hammering them. And we saw that on that last team. So from here, all right, so we've got 4 running backs off the board and 3 quarterbacks. The back half of Superflex leagues this year is super interesting because you can kind of fall into these like nice pockets where you can get, Lamar Jackson or Dak Prescott. I love Lamar this year, so we're going to take Lamar. We'll mock to our next pick at 13 overall, and we see, okay, we took Lamar, come back in here, Kamara, Dak, Jonathan Taylor, and Tyreek Hill were in the next couple of picks, so pretty expected there. Now again, this is really cool, guys. What you can also do beyond just advanced analytics is you can show only the players that we have, listed as like upside players to target throughout your draft board, and league winning types. So, upside is the little arrow. Joe Mixon obviously has RB1 upside if everything breaks right. Antonio Gibson, same thing. If both of those guys get more passing down usage, we see them as upside plays. League winners. Those are the guys with the cool fantasy points icon. So these guys are league winners based on ADP. Darren Waller obviously was a league winner last year. I kind of think he's a league winner again in the 2nd round this year. So that's kind of how we have it laid out here. So if you ever, want to toggle back and forth between, let's say, just players that are on the board or guys that we as a site are really, really high on, that's one cool way to do it. All right, so I've got my quarterback 1. I've got Lamar. I can't get away from Ezekiel Elliott in the 2nd round. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's the fun thing about Superflex League is you can build some monster teams from the back half of the first round in 10-team leagues this year. So, all right, so we've got Zeke, we've got Lamar. We've mocked to our 3rd round pick, 28 overall. And let's see here. Man, this shook out really well. All right, so we'll come back and we'll take another quarterback. Let's go with Russell Wilson this time. That is an unbelievable start. And we'll go from here. We'll mock to our next pick. All right, we've once again got our 2 quarterbacks, got our running back. We'll come back in here to the advanced analytics board. It's probably about time to take a receiver. So let's pop in here, see what the board looks like. So as you can see, our projections have highlighted Justin Jefferson as the top wide receiver. And throughout the board, it's pretty close. Like tight end is really close, pretty tight. Running back is pretty tight because we've got Darrell Henderson bumped up. We've got, pretty tight tier here between these 3 quarterbacks. But yeah, loving this receiver trio here between Jefferson, A-Rob, and McLaurin. I really can't go wrong here. But as you can see, because we went into that advanced analytics tab, the top recommended player immediately went back to the top of our board here. So it's just an easy way to kind of like, delineate, okay, this guy's at the top of the board, but it also shows you, what's the difference between Jefferson and A-Rob and McLaurin, and also how, what your projection looks like and how many points you're expected to lose when you don't take Jefferson here and you take, let's say DeAndre Swift or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So we'll go ahead and follow the algorithm. We'll go ahead and follow the generator and take Jefferson with our pick here in the 4th round. And yeah, I mean, that's a league-winning team right there. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll say, okay, feel really good about this draft. Kind of just want to see how the rest of it is projected to play out. We'll sim that to the end. There's the full team. Oh, we ended up getting CeeDee Lamb anyway. So again, generator is really high on wide receivers in the mid-rounds, which is really sharp, especially in 10-team leagues, because that's where the most value is going to end up being. A lot of those quarterbacks in the mid-rounds, it's not to say they get overdrafted, but like after Ryan Tannehill and Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence all go off the board, it gets pretty thin pretty quickly. Guys like Daniel Jones or Tua Tagovailoa might end up getting a little bit overdrafted in your league because teams don't have enough quarterbacks. So here, yeah, once again, you see the generator is really sharp, and it knows, hey, even though I've got my 2 stud quarterbacks, I still need a 3rd one, and I love this 3rd one in Justin Fields. Justin Fields and Trey Lance. I wrote this up in the Superflex guide, but both of those guys, Fields and Lance, those 2 rookies need to be a part of your strategy in all of your Superflex leagues and your 1 quarterback leagues this year. Okay, so one final thing I wanted to show you guys, obviously, is you can come in here and see the full draft report of where players are taken, where they go. This is obviously a really shallow league with just 10 teams, so you only get 150 picks, but pretty good indication of like where players should be going off the board. Always love to look at that to kind of recap my drafts. And again, we can come over here to the All Teams tab. Again, we drafted 8th, and generator loved the team again. Again, Russell Wilson in the 3rd round is just absolutely stealing in 10-teamers. But yeah, guys, this generator is super powerful. It's so cool to kind of prepare for your drafts. You can use it to prepare. You can use it for during your draft and kind of just, go into manual mode and say, okay, this, I'm picking 3rd. What type of player should I be targeting in the mid rounds, etc. Yeah, that will do it, guys. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Hopefully you guys have a lot of success with your teams this year. And yeah, definitely check out the Fantasy Points Generator. It is super powerful and will help you dominate in all of your leagues.